Hello, everybody. Um, I hope you guys can see me. I've had a few issues with my phone. Um, I keep dropping my phone, and I have a case for it. A shell for it. It's from Tech 21, and I've never had an issue before with that company. But for some reason, Tech 21 did not do me any justice with my iPhone 7 because I keep dropping it and now it's got cracks all over the screen. Um, it's a good thing though that I know how to take the iPhones apart, and I went ahead and I ordered myself a new screen, so that should be coming in soon, and I'll be able to fix that. But I also ordered myself a new durable case, a military grade case, where it doesn't matter what I do to it, it's not going to break, and it's also going to be waterproof. So I'm excited. Yay! The thing about iPhone 7 is it is waterproof. Yes, I know that. But once you open it up and try to begin repairs yourself, it's no longer waterproof. And that is just one of the little gimmicks that iPhone has set up, or I don't know, the Apple company has set up in place in order for you to spend more money. They've got so many ridiculous little things that they do, where it makes you wind up having to go back to the company to spend more money. That is how they get you. So I was like, I don't need it to be waterproof. I can just give myself a waterproof case. So I'm sorry if there's any cracks, and the video footage is not exactly great, but I'm hoping that you guys can see beyond my mess. Yes. I'm sitting in my car right now. No worries, I'm not driving. I'm parked, legally parked. I'm at the VFW. Let me show you guys. See, that is my VFW post that I belong to. Um, I'm sitting here waiting, because I am the outgoing commander. I mean, not commander. I promoted myself. I'm the quartermaster from last year, and we had elections, which is also going to lead me to apologize for my disappearance for quite some time. There's been a lot going on in the world, and you know, I kind of disappeared for a little bit because I needed time to think and just take a deep breath. And then our elections began at the VFW. We've been practicing social distancing. We're following the state guidelines. We have not opened up yet to anything, but we had a meeting because we had to conduct a meeting in order to conclude our election, um, and nominate and then elect people into place. I've been the quartermaster for the past several years, and I, went ahead and told everybody at this point, I'm not butthurt if someone else came along and wanted the position, because I've got a lot going on with work, and then, kids at home and things like that. So I wouldn't mind taking a break for a while. Um, for those of you that are not aware, I have been an officer in several different positions in two different posts. One in New Hampshire when I was there with my husband, and now here in Belleville, Illinois, right outside the military base where my husband is currently stationed. So, I've pretty much had myself pretty busy. Um, but I must also include, I did mention something in regards for those that don't know. Recently, I came in contact with a few old friends. I want to say welcome, thank you, and things like that. Um, there were a few old friends that I had many years ago, and then we all lost touch when we parted ways. And now I've made contact with them again, and I want to say thank you for watching my silly butt on YouTube, and welcome. Uh, Welcome to my YouTube video blog. It's called the Whatever blog, and basically, the reason why it's called Whatever is because I talk about whatever, everything and anything under the sun in regards to military, because I've had military background since I was in the Army for a few years, and then I am now military wife, and my husband is currently active duty um, in the Air Force, and we're both veterans, and we are both members of the VFW. So basically, that's what this vlog is. If anyone has any questions or comments or anything, please feel reach out to me. Or if you'd like me to talk about something military related, that would be great. Just send me a message, call me, text me. Well, I don't have a pager. Can't say that. People used to use pagers back in the day. My mom had a pager. I know that for sure. But anyways, so moving along, I'm sitting here at the VFW. I'm waiting for all the other officers to get here, the new officers, since we had our election, and I've taken a step back from being an officer. I'm waiting for the other quartermaster, the new one, to get here. We're supposed to be doing an audit to count the monies, always counting the monies. That's the major thing, and I'm kind of here to help show him the ropes, help show him what has to be done. So I thought I'd make myself a quick whatever vlog since I have time. And there is something I've been wanting to get on for the longest time. Well, not too long, but I want to thank my aunt, Fina, but that is not what we call her. I am Mexican. I'm Aztec Mexican, so I'm going to call her what we have called her since I was a little girl. Her name is, it is Delfina, but to me, she's Tia Fina. The word tia means aunt in Spanish, for those that don't know. So anyways, thank you, Tia Fina, for putting out a link a couple of days, probably a little over a week ago, on Facebook. I saw that, but I was following it on my own through a friend of mine who had sent me something a few weeks ago. But thank you. I wanted to touch up on that. And it was a link that she had sent, that she had posted on her Facebook in regards to a young girl by the name of Vanessa Guillen. I don't know if you guys have heard, or if any of you out there are following that story. She comes from a military post in Texas, and she is a female soldier, and I guess the situation is that she's missing right now. She cannot be found. A lot of you that are not aware of this situation would say, well, Ariana, isn't that considered AWOL? No. This is different. She's missing. We know that something happened that shouldn't have happened, because her belongings were found inside the building that she was working, and she was last seen at her car. And she is not the type of person that would go AWOL. I guess she was working towards an education and trying to get her degree, and trying to do something with herself. So this is not an AWOL situation. She did not just run from the military. She's 22 years old. She's been missing for several months now. And it's gotten so big to the point where several Latino celebrities have touched up on it. Some have donated to the cause. Selma Hayek, I know for a fact, has tweeted twice on her Twitter about it. And she's pretty much putting stuff out there because she wants people to find her. Just like everyone else, we all want her found. Um, I guess the situation that was, the only thing I can state is the information that I've gotten, out of reading articles and watching the news is that um, she was being sexually harassed at work by another soldier, and the thing is, she didn't tell anyone about it. Like, she didn't tell her supervisors or anything because she was afraid of, um, she was afraid of what might happen to her. Um, and she did tell her family because she used to call her family regularly, Hispanic families, Latino families. I don't know if people understand that, but um, we are very close to our immediate family members, the people that we grew up with and we see every day. We're very close to each other to the point where we call each other every day, or we see each other every day, or we live with each other every day. Um, so the fact that they hadn't gotten a call from her in a while, and it just, she, I guess, used to talk to her sister a lot, and her sister was the one who started worrying and sent out a report. She went to the police, and anyhow, they investigated the situation. They went looking for her, and they found her ID card and her keys inside the armory room in the building, but they could not find her. But from what I understand, if I read correctly, they dove a little deeper into the unit that she was part of, and they find out that there's another missing young soldier. Not just her. There was another one before her that went missing. Um, so that just raises your eyebrows, and it makes you twitch. Well, it certainly makes me twitch. Um, so you know, her name again is Vanessa Guillen. A lot of people are calling her Gillen or Gillian or something like that. Me being Latina, I will pronounce it properly. It's Guillen. The double L's. Okay, when you say the word quesadilla, it's not quesadilla. No, it's quesadilla. And that is how you would pronounce her name if you are following along with me. It's Guillen. So anyways, sorry. It's a Mexican thing. I get so upset when people mispronounce quesadilla. I'm sorry. It's just okay. I'm okay. I'm good. um so anyways, um I'm sorry. I need to take a minute because this young girl is missing. This young woman is missing, and um I'm sitting here going back and forth about quesadilla, trying to, yeah. Anyways, she's missing, and it's not a good thing. And the fact that she had reported to her relatives back home that there was some sexual harassment going on is not good. And the other fact that there's another person missing before her is not good. I don't really know too much information about this other young soldier that's missing. I need to dig a little deeper into that. If anyone is interested in learning more about that, please let me know. I will dig deeper if you guys want me to. But the reason why I'm touching up on this is because I feel I need to. Number one, I'm Aztec Mexican. Number two, I was a female soldier, and I'm a female veteran now. sorry. I have to sit and think about what I'm going to say before I say it to you all, because, I've got a lot of viewers. I got more viewers coming on, and um first off, as a Mexican, let me make a correction. I was born in America. I was born in Chicago, Illinois. Um, I come from Mexican background. My mother is second generation. Yeah, well, second generation on her mother's side, American. And I guess you could say she's first generation on my grandfather's side, American, which would make me, oh, if we're talking about my grandfather's side alone, I'm second generation American, Mexican. Or, if we were talking about my maternal side, I would be um, third generation. Um, and with that being said, um, we got a lot of problems um, with, no, there's no problems. Let's just say, let's bring the elephant out of the room. Immigration, the word immigration, and all kinds of things like that come to my mind. Mexico, my family, um, everything comes out when you say the word Mexico or Mexican. Um, I'm Aztec Mexican. That basically means I'm a Central American, Native American, according to the government, both governments, government of Mexico and the government, the American government. I'm what you would call indigenous, because we can actually trace back our roots to being actual Aztecs, and we generally came from the population that had Aztecs. So, you know, I'm sorry, I'm rambling on. Um, a lot of things come to my mind, and it's all jumbled up. When you talk about Mexico or Mexican, I am American, yes. My heritage is Mexican, and um, I spent some time in Mexico when I was a little girl. I used to go every summer with my grandparents. Um, it was very important that we went with them, my mother and myself. Sometimes my other relatives would come with too. Um, they had land out there. A great, yeah, I had a great grandmother. She was the mother of my grandfather. Um, and, you know, we would go and spend our summers out there. And to be honest with many of you, which not even a lot of my relatives understand or know, um, is when I was a little girl, ever since I was able to speak, um, I would say that my first language was Spanish. I did speak some Spanish, but I was on the cusp of learning how to talk. I was on the cusp of learning how to speak. And the way it went with me ever since I was that young is my grandfather, uh, he would, he was the one who taught me Spanish, and he would sit and talk to me, but he had set me up to the point where he wanted me to answer him in English. When I got a little older, we would talk to each other in Spanish, but I was so comfortable speaking English that sometimes I would speak to him in I would respond in English. And when I was older, he didn't exactly like that. He wanted me to converse with him in Spanish. You know, now the fact that I was a little bit older, and I wish I had more, because now he's gone. He's not here. Um, so, anyways, I'm sure a lot of you out there are saying, "Oh wow, your first language was Spanish. How do you speak English so great?" Well, I'll I'll tell you, my grandfather pushed me to learn English. And when I started preschool, when I was 3, they pushed me right into the class where they expected me to learn English, and my grandparents at home really pushed it because they wanted me to fit in. They wanted me to not have any problems, any language problems or anything like that. Um, and so I was just learning Spanish and I was conversing back and forth with my grandpa, who somewhat raised me. He did raise me. And then they put me in preschool, and training wheels are all off, and they're like, okay, you're going to learn to talk now, but you got to speak English. So, whatever, you know? But I understand both languages. I can speak fluently both languages. I do prefer English most of the time because that is basically what I've adapted to. But I do speak Spanish, I write Spanish, and I understand. Yo entiende mucho. Let me put it to you that way. But there's also another language that I was learning with my grandpa, which was the Aztec language. It's kind of like a Native American dialect, and there were only a few words that he knew, but he would teach. It would be like a game, a grandpa and granddaughter game, when I was over his house. So, but anyways, I'm sorry, I've gone out on a tangent. I'm so sorry. It goes to show you what I'm thinking about right now with this young woman missing. Her family has to be frantic right now. She's disappeared, and not just that, but the fact that she's Latina, or well, I guess Latino. I'm sorry. I don't know exactly what the correct verbiage is on that, because I call myself a Latina, but you know, when you say it as a whole, it's like the Latino community or something like that. We're only good to the American people for several things. Um, when people believe that you don't speak English correctly or fully or properly, or you can barely understand the language, they do their best to try to take advantage of you. Um, but when they do know you speak English, um, and you do very well holding your own with the language, they do their best to try to put you in a category where it's degrading. Um, Even if you aren't a woman, it'll be degrading or unjust in some way. And it always has been that way, and I'm a little annoyed by that. And in this case, in her case, she was getting sexually harassed. I'm sure it was more than the fact that she was Latino. You know, I'm sure it was more than that. And it's a little bit disappointing, especially when it involves our military, our army. Um, she's not the only one who's gone missing. There's another person missing before her. So the question is, why didn't anyone catch on the first time around? What the fuck? I'm sorry. I'm just annoyed by this. My son says, "Mom, don't swear on YouTube." I'm gonna fucking swear. I'm sorry. I'm gonna fucking swear. What the fuck? That nobody went looking for this girl. Nobody knew where she was. No, nobody. They still don't know where she is. They haven't found her, but they figured out that another person went missing, and then they found some skeletal remains somewhere. I believe outside the desert somewhere. I don't know the exact location, but they found some skeletal remains, and Uh, they did not identify them as Vanessa Guillen's remains, which is a good thing. Um, but they still haven't identified those remains. Um, so, what the fuck? That's all I'm gonna say. I know that there's a petition out. It's got so many signatures. It's gone to the White House in regards to this situation. Um, I hope that they turn that entire post upside down and rip all of those soldiers apart to the point where they're running in formation in their underwear. I'm talking about the males, where they're running in formation in their underwear. Yeah, I hope that's what they do to them in order to find this girl and the other soldier missing before her. Um, Secondly, that I will touch on is the fact that I'm a female veteran. I was a female soldier. I will openly admit and agree, which I've done before in another video, another vlog almost several months ago, um, that there is scenarios like that that do play out in the military where some women are sexually harassed, or a situation occurs such as that along those lines, or they get assaulted in some way, and or there's issues, and um it's unfortunate. And I've basically said before that it's a man's world. It always will be a man's world. I'm hoping that that changes, um, for the better by the time my daughter is fully grown. I don't think that ever will change, because the fact that it's a man's world, um, you know, I hate saying that. Um, I learned it firsthand when I went into the military. Um, I noticed, I was one of those who just sat quietly in the corner and observed. Uh, you know, you can sit there and run with the boys all you want, um, and joke around with them and things like that. But it will forever be their world. They will ever kind of rule on top of everything. And, luckily, I was always in a position where I never had to deal with any of that nonsense. I've never been sexually harassed. I never had any situation like that when I was in the military. And I'm kind of lucky and happy in that aspect. Um, I've seen it. I've heard it. So has my husband. He's seen it. He's heard it. Um, and I guess she was afraid uh, of getting, I guess, a slap back in the hand, not literally speaking, but she was afraid of getting the spotlight on her and her getting something back in return if she went and reported to her supervisors. Lashback. I've seen that happen a lot. It's unfortunate that happens, and it really does need to go away. Um, in order to be serving our country, you know, you're sitting there and you find yourself in a human resource situation, and you can't exactly turn to your supervisor or human resources and sit there and explain to them what's plaguing you when you're supposed to be working. um, is kind of hard. um, it's hard to fathom. um, it's like, Yeah. It's like going into a house, living in a house every day where there's nothing but abuse going on. Eventually, you meet an end, and it's not always a pretty end. It's not a great one. Um, and I can't imagine that, you know, well, I can't imagine that that's exactly what happened here. Um, but anyhow, um, you know, even though my experiences were not all that bad in the military, I do state and agree that you run into a few bad eggs like that. I really wish things would change for the better. That's kind of like what my blog does sometimes. I push the notion that we need to make some changes. The world needs to understand, wake up and understand that there are women that can do just as much as men can too, and probably even better. Um, to the point where these changes need to happen, not over the years, not maybe within the next century, like yesterday, like the day before. I don't know what more can be said on that. Anyhow, I usually try to do my vlogs weekly, monthly. Right now, at this point, I've been so upset with everything going on that I'm kind of like, well, I should not do anything right now. I want to take a deep breath. I'm so upset with so many different people today. It's just, it's unfathomable. Um, but I try to do my vlogs weekly. Um, you guys, if you have any questions or want me to touch up on anything, please feel free to reach out to me. Those that I've reconnected with recently on social media. Hey, hi. And welcome. Welcome to my vlog. Um, anyways, I'm going to get going here. I've got to, like I said earlier in my vlog, I got to meet up with the new quartermaster and train him on what to do. He doesn't exactly know. So, I'll see you guys. I really do hope that we find Vanessa. This is unfortunate, really, really sad. Um, and I hope this brings awareness uh, to the dirty little secret that sometimes exists in the military. Love you all. I'll see you all. Bye.